Yo. This is Joel Welch here, for those of you who don't know me, and I'm here with the exciting MaxWeb team. And I'm going to chat today about getting started with video ads on Facebook. It's going to be an introductory talk on getting started on Facebook with video. So if you've never ran a video on Facebook before, maybe you've dabbled a little bit and felt frustrated, here's just an easy way to get started and take advantage of a super powerful tool. Smash some profits. Excuse me. Just a few takeaways or notes. So basically, video ads on Facebook. Why video ads? Like, why do we care? Things to know before you begin. Going to go over a really basic script setup, even in case you don't have something already on the go there. Quick video clip setup, and then basically diagnosing your results after running your video and what actions to take based on those results. You're not just guessing and throwing stuff at the wall and hoping for results. This should help give you a good foundation to going confidently running videos if you're not already. Or maybe again, if you are, you're just getting a little bit stuck on which way to go. So let's dive right in. First off, a little bit about Joel. So for me, before I got into affiliate marketing, I worked in auto sales. So I worked for several different manufacturers, from domestic to luxury high-end, and spent time in management where I had sales team that trained them on sales strategies, techniques, how to build value in a product, how to ask questions of a customer so you know that you're focusing on the right product selection, real selling. And I love it. I love working with people. I love the dynamics and the challenges that come with selling, the curveballs that come your way. It's really, really exciting. But I learned, of course, you can see a lot more customers in a day on the internet than you can in a retail environment. So I made the switch. And I was back in 2014. Yeah, 2014. So since 2014 now, I've been working full time in affiliate marketing. Worked with different partners, different traffic sources, several different niches, and it's been quite the ride. When I started with native. So back then it was kind of Nutra, health. Did a lot of work from home offers back then, lead gen, survey offers, and then eventually pivoted into casino and did full time casino for a few years. Casino was great because I worked directly with the casinos and I learned the value of a funnel, like understanding how much your funnel can actually change the average order value, cart value, lifetime customer values at the end. And so that was huge. And ever since then, I focused all my marketing on the highest value. So I can get the highest payouts, get unique opportunities. And so I like communicating with the either the network, offer owner, or whoever is working with, to make sure that holds up. So yeah, so that's a bit about me. I love personal development, love NLP. I bring neuro-linguistic programming into my marketing a lot, just with the power of words and working with emotions and really, helping educate people why they should buy the product, which is what we're all here for, right? So first off, video ads on Facebook, how to get started, right? So I talk to a lot of friends and marketers, affiliates, people who meet at conferences, and I hear things like, where do I even start to get into videos? Like, don't you need a team of designers, or don't you need to hire outsourcers and train them, pay them, trust them to build this stuff? And ultimately, a lot of fear around it. I felt this way in the past too, before I got into video. Oh my gosh, like, where do you start? Like, how do you even get there? There's so many parts. Like, what do I do? And I just, put it to the side. So the reality is, though, it's a lot more easy than you think. It's actually very, very easy. A lot of tools have been developed and designed. If you're running traffic already, image or native, or you're on Facebook running image landers, you're already working with copy. You're already like testing, split testing, diagnosing funnels. All you're doing now is just adding the video component to it. So I'll show you exactly how to do that today. And it's really quite simple. It takes a bit of work up front, but it's really quite simple. So let's jump in here. Why video ads? So good place to start. There's a ton of stats on the screen here. You can read through them if you want, but this is all stuff I pulled off of online. This is all regarding Facebook. This is not YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, whatever, Snapchat. Video applies obviously over there too. So this is not, you can apply this to any of those sources. Just today, I thought I would start with Facebook so we can kind of encapsulate kind of one area. But there's some really, really, really interesting, stats on here. Like the second stat, 500 million viewers watch 100 million hours of video content on Facebook daily. Like that's insane. Like that's old content. So that's like, your cousin's wedding and someone's birthday and stuff. But, that's a ton of video content. 65% are coming from mobile users. 85% of users are watching it with sound off. That's really fascinating. A lot of people think that you have to be recording their audio, talking, hiring actors. I mean, you can get away there with just having subtitles, right? Because then they can read. A lot of people, like myself included, if I'm on my phone, I typically have my sound off because I don't want like blasting all over the room or in public, right? The fifth point there, native videos get 478% more shares on Facebook than videos from other sources. That's mega. So basically what they mean there is videos native to Facebook. So like if you record it in Facebook, it's on Facebook, like not like YouTube or like other stuff. So that's very, 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 very powerful. And then there's tons and tons and tons of other stats there. One I really like there is in the middle, in the second column, cost of Facebook video ads is 10% of the cost of carousel or single image ads. That's a pretty strong statement. I haven't compared it 100%. I'm not sure, but I know video is super powerful, and you can get really, really cheap clicks if everything is nice and congruent there. So, and two more points I'd like to point out here that I think are very powerful. On the top right, 52% of American adults are using Facebook to discover latest news. It's coming from Forbes. I think that's super powerful. That's over half American adults. So if we're using video to, well, it's Facebook in general. So, but if we are using video to encapsulate like a news related, release, educating users about our product, whether it's e-com, lead gen, health, half the Americans are looking for news there. So you want to be there, right? You want to be educating and getting people to look, right? 47% of consumers watch video ads mainly on Facebook, right? And then 71% of shoppers are finding Facebook video ads shown to them to be relevant. So 71% of the shoppers on Facebook are finding the content relevant. Massive. And then, of course, 51% of adult users don't understand how their feed works and why certain posts are shown to them. So that's unique to you. You see that in comments a lot where like, why am I saying this? Or how does it get to me? Or this is like interesting, but like, who sent it to me? And you can kind of use it to your advantage, I guess, right? Like as long as your ads and my takeaway from this is your ads and your copy, your video, instead of being super polished, branded kind of material, like something we'd see from like McDonald's or Ford or something, having it more organic, right? Like more organic looking clips, the copy not being so, so polished and salesy, because they don't really understand. It's saying 51% of adult users are understanding what's happening there. So you can use it to your advantage. If you don't feel too much like an ad, they will consume it because again, 71% are finding it relevant. So there's just a lot of stats there, that video is strong, video is powerful. A lot of people are going to video, so you should be on video too. And it's not taking away from image ads. Like, hey, run images for sure, like they work. Excuse me, but if you're not running video, you're missing out a lot of placement activity on inventory on Facebook. So should jump in. Here we go. Moving forward. Oh yeah, a couple more comments that just I put through myself. So it's just personal opinion, personal experience. Very first one, ads when they work tend to work for much longer than image alone. Now, I don't have like 100% like stats to show you on this, but I find like with an image, if it cranks out and it scales, it's great. Go for it. But with video, I have videos that run for a long time. Like some videos are run for weeks, some are run for months. I have some videos that I ran for 4, 5, 6 months, turned off 3 or 4 months later, turned them back on, and they run again. So now you're getting almost into like the year kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like super powerful. Also with video, which we'll get into, you can like freshen up a video. Like you can change the intro, change, the bit of the copy and get like tons of miles out of it. So a little more heavy lifting up front, but the little payout is great. Like having campaigns that run like that is just awesome, right? Social sharing, I mean, everything on Facebook is social. It's the whole point of social. The thing about video though is like people love to share video, right? Like how many people share videos and stuff with you or family members or whatever, right? Hey, did you see this? This is amazing. Check this out, right? Like watch this. And instead of having to read some news report or whatever, video, they can just watch it and watch it right on Facebook. Whereas if you share an image, typically they're gonna have to click through the image and take an extra step, right? So there's this, of course, social sharing, which is pretty obvious, and it's like free traffic on Facebook, right? Comments, obviously, if you're running on Facebook, you're familiar with comments. What's super awesome about video, though, and we'll touch on this later in the talk, is that in the comments, they literally tell you what to do with your video and how to improve your video and make it better, which is awesome. It's funny to me that people take the time to make these comments, but as a marketer, it's genius. So it's like, I don't know, they'll say things like, oh, this video is so fast, I can't understand it, I had to turn it off. All right, well, I should probably do a slower video. Or this is too confusing, or this product doesn't make sense to me, or like, why do I keep saying such long videos like this? I just want to read something. Or I don't know, thousands of examples, right? The end of the video doesn't make sense. I had to pause at the end. I don't know where to go from here. Where do I click? If you don't tell them to click to learn more, people won't click and learn more. So the comments are super powerful. You take those comments, edit your video and your funnel, see how those improve. It's awesome instead of guessing. And then, of course, the last point, more and more content is video now across all platforms. So it's staying relevant, right? So TikTok, Instagram, Snap, and the list goes on, miles and miles and miles. Even native traffic now, there's video and native as well. Native video is the trend on all platforms, right? So if you're not playing with video, you should be, I think, because it's just like the direction people are going. So just something to consider, right? That it's a good place to be. What you should consider before you begin. So like this isn't super in depth, but just like things to consider. With like any funnel, it's just really good to consider what you're looking at, right? Like what is your product? What's your demo? Are you in the lead generation side, e-commerce, health? Are you running to a landing page? Do you have a VSL behind you that you're going to be running to? All that kind of stuff. It's pretty self-explanatory. Things to consider here, which again, we'll touch base as we get a bit more deeper into the talk, is that you're making things like video, you've got a fair bit of content in there. Like you got video clips, maybe you're showing the product because it's like an e-commerce product. Maybe you have an actor talking directly to the camera or something or whatever. If your product is older, demo orientated, some kind of health supplement or something, then your clips really should all be older demo so that they can see people like in their demo, interacting, right? If it's a male only product or a female only product, obviously you should show mainly all female or male. If it's a younger product, like whatever, right? Like I know this sounds obvious, but I've seen a lot of videos. I used to make a lot of videos that were incongruent that way, and your results just really suffer. Also, if you're running maybe like an e-commerce product and you're running more to like a checkout, you may need to do a bit more selling in your Facebook video. Some of the e-commerce stuff I used to run, the videos would be longer, like 4 to 8 minutes long, to really, really, really like do feature benefit of that product on Facebook itself, so that when they got to the lander, they were already pre-sold. Or if you're already running to a VSL, or maybe you're doing like a lead gen kind of funnel, maybe you're just doing a bit more of like a hook video, like a shorter like intrigue video. So it's just worth thinking about the funnel there and what makes the most sense before you get started. If you think about this later, when you're already kind of building a video, writing copy, it's easy to like go down the wrong route, waste so much time, and really get frustrated. So just take a few minutes to do a pre-plan. Pretty obvious, right? What kinds of offers are videos good for? I mean, honestly, like I don't know what they wouldn't be good for. I'm sure there's a few examples that I'm just not aware of. I haven't ran everything, but as already mentioned, stuff like e-commerce is great. You can really sell the product. You can use a bit more story, show the product in use. Like, is it some kind of like, pillow? Is it like some kind of gadget, like a toy? Is it some kind of like cell phone holder? And you can really show it, in use, doing the thing it's supposed to be doing, or maybe how it's made in the factory or the person who made it. Like, you can do a big story. Lead gen, I haven't ran as much lead gen personally, but with lead gen I have worked, it's a bit more short and punchy, quick benefit, really focusing on how simple it is, like, how easy it is to save on your auto insurance, right? Or get a quote for a window or solar panels, that kind of stuff, right? And then health related offers, which is what I focus on the last few years now, is really just about explaining how the product is going to eliminate pain, either physical or psychological, and how it's unique to everything else on the market, kind of thing. So there's lots of other niches out there. You can go all the way, and I think it applies to all, quite honestly. So we're going to wrap up that thought. um, it's a little bit harder to read here, but let me play it out. So all that being said, video, we know it's everywhere. You kind of want to be in the video space, at least for part of your marketing strategy. And not to say it should be your only strategy, but part of it. So here, this is a script example. Now, this is just an example. I'm not doing a copywriting talk. There's a total, it's a huge wide array of different scripts you can use. I've got a lot of different script setups that I have saved. Some are short, just a couple, some are mega long, and there's different angles, approaches you can take. So it's like a whole world of its own. I'm just putting in a basic example here just to kind of get you off the ground if you're feeling like, where do I start? How do I relate this to content I already have? How to think about it. So again, this is just a surface example. To go deeper than this, it's a whole other conversation. So here's a basic layout, right? Pattern interrupt hook right at the beginning, just like a headline on the landing page. That's how I treat it. Hook the person, interrupt them from. You got to remember on Facebook, they're scrolling. Why do people go on Facebook? Usually to kill time, right? Gonna hang out there for an hour or two and scroll the news feed, right? You need to like punch them in the face, the hook, and interrupt the whole pattern that they're in to like shock them out, right? Super important part of the copy. What's in it for them? What's the product going to help, then provide the solution or build up some pain, present the new idea. Like, what is the new idea? Like, what is it that you're doing that no one else is doing, right? Bring an authority figure if you got one. Maybe it's the person who designed it or some doctor, build more value, call to action. Again, this isn't set in stone. You can throw a call to action in the middle. You can literally do pattern interrupt when it's in it for them and then call to action right there and make it a 20-second video. Like that is totally worth testing. Again, it depends on your funnel and like, all kinds of things. But here's a more just sort of thorough structure, right? This layout here creates a video anywhere from like 50 seconds to a minute and a half. Pretty good length. It's longer than Facebook recommends. Even they say you should do 15-second videos only. I don't agree with that. You can base this based on experience. Tons you can test. So again, just an example. Full disclosures, just an example. So what I did is I went to my MaxWeb account and I just picked out a blood sugar supplement there. And I watched the VSL. It's like 40 minutes, took notes. What's the big idea? Who's creating it? What are they offering? What are they doing? Basic notes, because it's all right in the VSL anyway. So now I understand the product a bit. I personally don't have diabetes, so I can't speak from experience. I need to do a little research and trust the information that's, of course, it's there. And obviously make sure my material is congruent with what they're saying on the offer, because they would know it better than me. So again, here's a quick example of a script. Again, it's not something you can just take and run it. This is just, I kind of banged through this in about 10 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. And again, as an example. So right out the gate, pattern interrupt hook, simple 5-second ritual helps reverse diabetes naturally. So what I want to do at the gate is I should actually add the pattern interrupt hook here is also validate the customer. I don't want people clicking this ad that want to lose weight or want to get rich or want to save on their auto insurance, or maybe they're looking for gains, or I don't want any of that. Anyone who clicks, I want them to be certain that they care about diabetes. Like they should technically have diabetes if they're going to click this. So I just don't want it to be too vague. It's easy to get so hung up on just like clickbait, and there's a lot of talk about you just want your CTR to be super, super high, so just get the clicks. I don't believe that as much anymore. I mean, a native a bit more maybe, but I believe personally that I just want a more congruent click. Like I just want to make sure that person that does click really, 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 really cares. So I'm sort of a bit less concerned on banging CTR stats and all that stuff, because I just want anyone who comes in have the potential to sell that person, right? So in the intro, I keep it super to the point. Calling out diabetes right out of the gate. I'm saying it's simple. I'm saying it's a 5-second ritual. Like I said, a ritual, I don't know, maybe I'm kind of bending it there, but this is a supplement. So they're going to take a pill. in the morning, probably a pill at night. How many seconds does that take? 30 seconds, a minute? I don't know. Just a thought I thought I'd play with, right? Also important to point out here, I'm not saying 5-second ritual reverses diabetes. I'm saying 5-second ritual helps reverse diabetes. And it's a huge difference to Facebook. I'm saying it helps, not that it certainly does. If I said it certainly does, that's a seriously bold claim. I need to seriously back that up. And in the comments, you'll find if you do run copy that's bold like that, people in the comments will comment like, if this fixes diabetes, why doesn't my doctor tell me about it? Why isn't it all over the news or whatever? And that relates to not just diabetes, like any product that you do run. So this is just based on experience. I want to keep Facebook happy, not make bold claims, but still I want to intrigue enough interest, because if it's saying it's helping reverse, it's checking a lot of boxes out the gate there, right? People are like, well, if it reverses diabetes, what's next? They want to keep reading, hopefully, right? What's in it for them? Thousands of people have taken advantage of this and are easily balancing blood sugar without having to test their fingers each morning, or best of all, watch what they eat. So doing some research on diabetics, I understand you struggle with blood sugar, and if you have full-on diabetes, you need to test your blood sugar with like a pinprick, right? To cut your finger, test strip, test your blood, and get a blood sugar reading. Now, that's obviously painful. It's physically painful. I'm sure it's psychologically painful. I'm sure it's a nuisance. I'd hate to have to check my blood sugar every morning. That would be really unfortunate. And on top of that, if you have to really watch what you eat, I try to eat healthy already, but like if I really have to really watch what I eat, that's like a pain point. So what I did here is I pulled out 2 pain points and basically are suggesting that this, ritual is going to help eliminate those 2 pain points. Now it's a bit of a stretch, because I am saying, this thing, could help them eliminate all of that. I don't know if it's necessarily going to fully eliminate diabetes, but it's supposed to help improve the situation for them. So pushing that a little bit there. Bring out pain, provide solution. So here, while Big Pharma is trying to keep the solution hidden to protect their profits, scientists are studying to see how fast it balances sugar levels. So this is like an old school style of coffee. It's something you'd see like an old Lander, like an old weight loss something, I guess. I don't know. I just pulled that out of my head. But it's like Big Pharma, is the bad guy, us versus them, which is a really powerful approach. Of course, the copy, it's like the big bad guys, but here we are doing our good work over here against them because they just care about their money. A lot of people can relate to that, especially with the way the news is these days, right? Yeah. New opportunity, social proof. I didn't put social proof in here, but you could put social proof in here. Like if you have testimonials from the offer owner, if you can get those, real ones, of course, you can put those in here, which helps. People love social proof, hearing other people have used it. Here, I just put it's a new opportunity, saying it has nothing to do with expensive prescriptions, complicated equipment, or uncomfortable doctor visits. Once again, I did some more research on diabetics on what are things to be concerned about. Well, don't want to take expensive or risky medications. Complicated equipment, I kind of just added that in there, like testing equipment is what I was thinking mentally, right? Comfortable doctor visits. No one wants to go to the doctor on a regular basis and have to get checkups. So basically, I'm saying this idea has nothing to do with even more pain over here. So I'm building up pain to really build them up, hopefully, to really care about what's coming, right? So like you're looking. Move to the next slide here. And then it's all possible because of this 5-second fix. So like right there, we could technically put a call to action right there, right? Like we kind of pointed out pain, we have a solution, click to learn more. That could be your video, boom, right there, done. I went a little bit farther to complete out this script example. Establish authority, right? Right in the VSL, this exciting news is thanks to brilliant researcher David Pearson, right here in the USA, who figured out how to develop the perfect blood sugar protocol. So having someone's name in there is powerful because people are going to want to wonder like what's going on now. Like I'm this far, why should I care? Again, this isn't fabricated. This is right off the product, right? So I just pulled right from there. The fact that he's in America and this product's mainly going to be running in the US, that's powerful too. People want to trust, right? Yeah. Value perception. right there. They can help reverse diabetes right in its tracks and reverse all those miserable symptoms, not to mention the daily pain. So I'm just trying to build more value here, right? Like, what is the value? It can help reverse diabetes. It's reminding them, and then of course bring out a bit more pain again, all those miserable symptoms that we've already covered. And again, not to mention daily pinpricks. Now, pinpricks, I don't know, maybe it's a little aggressive on Facebook. I don't know if that copy is good or bad. Again, this is just a quick example I'm throwing together, but not to mention the daily tests, not to mention the daily check. Like, we put whatever there, right? Just reminding them of all that pain, and then I put a final call to action. So click learn more to watch the free presentation now. If you don't put a call to action in, you'll be shocked. You see a lot of comments. People will be like, well, what's the website? Where do I go now? How do I learn more? Even though the ad on Facebook will have the learn more button, it's just going to be there or whatever you set it to be. If you don't tell them, they're not going to do it. So you need to put it there, and then you can play around with this all you want. I put watch the free presentation. I'm trying to prep them here to keep things smooth and logical and congruent, that there is going to be a video. This is a VSL, this particular one. If you don't have a video and you're running them to a landing page or a checkout, just say it. Click learn more to continue reading this great information or whatever, right? It's easy to think that this is not important because it's logical, but just do it because you need to tell them, they need to be told what to do. And then they know what to expect, right? And they're not going to bounce. Hopefully, not as many are going to bounce. So again, super quick example. I took a blood sugar supplement, watched the VSL, I took the notes, basic notes, and then just translate it into this little template that I have that's really basic. That can be super powerful. Compliance. So I started to touch on compliance, though this talk, I'm not going to get super deep into compliance because compliance can be like a mega conversation on its own. And it's something, of course, everyone talks about or considers on Facebook. Like, why is my account banned, right? Why am I being denied ads? I got ad scores, I got page scores, it's like, it's a lot. So I've learned a lot running multiple seven-figure offers on Facebook, and I'm fortunate enough to work with a few different partners and talk with a few different Facebook reps. And so just sort of compiling all the data and my own just personal experience running ads, sort of like some general overarching things to think about when you're running on Facebook. I hear from a lot of people too, like, oh, my accounts are getting banned for absolutely no reason. It makes absolutely no sense. I do agree that their AI and stuff is a little glitchy and it can totally make errors. But I also agree that I think majority of the time, not everyone's just taking full responsibility for what they're putting on Facebook. I'm not trying to blame people or attack people. I mean, it's hard to know because they're so vague. Here's just a couple of loose concepts. So let me just poke at it so you can think about it a little bit. So a lot of notes here. Let me just skim through it real quick. So right at the top, Facebook is pretty vague, right? More vague than I think it should be. They do have terms and conditions, and they've got all their documents, and you should read those documents. Even though they're boring as hell, you should totally read them and at least get a feel. Even still, it's still kind of vague. So let's just kind of jump in. So first and foremost, Facebook wants a positive experience for all users, always. I don't have the stats in front of me, but Facebook has calculated what a user is worth to them. I say user, person, an active profile on Facebook has a dollar value because they've done the math. Enough people click enough ads, generates enough revenue that there's a dollar attached to each person on Facebook, right? And so they don't want to lose those people. And if people are having a poor experience, they will obviously ultimately leave. So instead of catering to you, running your ads, they're going to ban you because their user is just worth that much money to them. And there's so many more marketers out there and brands that like banning your account is not their, like they're not gonna miss you, just to put it bluntly. I hate to say it, so it's just the way it is, right? So anything you're doing on your ads, if it could be, deemed as not positive, that's a problem. And that can start to get you flagged in the background, behind the scenes, and eventually you can start getting, low quality and or just straight ban right out the gate, right? So we want to avoid that, right? We want our accounts to last. We don't want to be losing sleep over accounts. That's the whole other pain point that I personally want nothing to do with. I want my accounts to last, and they mine do. So yeah, I've got Facebook accounts I'm running right now that are like a year and a half old, and they're still active and still running, and I'm still going strong. So It can be done. It can be done. Do not isolate anyone. This one can be tricky because it's vague, but just like they don't want you to isolate people into like groups and then say things about those groups because again, that's not inclusive. It's not like welcoming and supportive. So it's easy on marketing to like take a group and then go and attack that group and be like, or rope people into a group and be like, those people are suffering and here's how we can save them all. It's like, it's kind of tricky. Um, to really just try not to isolate the user themselves. And part of that, which is the next line, do not call the user out. Should say specifically there. Don't use the word you. So like, perfect example, your ads or your video is saying stuff like, when you can't sleep at night and you are angry and you are suffering and you don't know what to do, that's like, hell no. Like you've isolated that person, putting all this pain from this person, which is great from a marketing perspective, but on Facebook, they hate it. They hate it, hate it, hate it, because now you've isolated the person, you put them in a little box alone where they're suffering and having a terrible time. So you don't want to do that. Well, you can do that, but you run the risk of losing your account. So that's up to you. So I would recommend not to do that. So you want to just be a bit more vague. So like when people struggle to get a good night's rest, that's a little better, right? Some people, struggle to do X, and some people have found a benefit by doing Y, right? And so that's like some mysterious people that are over here are experiencing this, right? So you can get away, with that. So that's the direction you want to go. It's really hard because our habit in the copy is to do you, but you just gotta make that shift. Some obvious things, no shaming, especially in the health side. Don't show people overweight or struggling with a health issue. I know it's hard because we really want to like focus on the struggle, but like, you don't want to show someone working out by themselves or having a terrible time, right? Showing them working out, maybe in a group of people, having a great time and being included, that would be okay. But it's kind of complex. I'm trying to just talk very high level, just so you can kind of like soak it in and do with it what you will. Hopefully, I'm hoping it helps provide some value for you, right? And obviously, specific claims, right? If you're saying like in a diabetes offer, I don't use any numbers. I do say thousands of people. I'm not like 100,000 people have bought this product and 100,000 people have reduced blood sugar readings from this to this and are now eating this kind of food or whatever, right? Like I kept it super vague on purpose. You wanna it's Yeah, it's even like with lead gen and stuff or whatever you're doing, like if you're saving a certain amount of money, or making a certain amount of money. I mean, oh my gosh, you should be like really, 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 really careful and try to just avoid those kind of claims. I've practiced or tested making claims and then citing those claims on the clip because I think they will accept that. But then it makes your clip look kind of like garbage, right? You need like I've done like white font on the bottom that has the citation. It makes the video look kind of weird, right? And the performance was very, very mixed, and I found it frustrating to overlay. I just avoid it altogether. So just, if you're trying to make claims, it's very dangerous. So that you can fully back those up on the spot for the user right there, right? So just to summarize the very bottom, positive user experience, right? Keep your video fun and it's educational and it's inspiring, lifting people up, making the world a better place. So that's what I gotta say about that. Things you can watch out for, which I don't have on the slide, but if maybe if your CPM is oddly rising day over day over day on ads that were kind of performing, it's possible that maybe something's going on there where you're seeing something a little bit strong and maybe you're getting a bit of a penalization from Facebook. I mean, I don't work Facebook, but it's kind of some of the theory that they kind of start to squeeze you a little bit. So it's something to consider some of those results. Again, this is not a compliance talk, but I want to touch on just the very high level stuff just so you can think about it all as you roll through your material. Now, I have here Introduction to Loom 5. Now, Loom 5 is a tool that I mainly use for making videos. I'm not associated with Loom 5. I'm not supportive of Loom 5. I don't work for Loom 5. I don't know anyone that works there. I'm just putting it there as a tool that I use, but I have used multiple tools over time. A couple other examples are like Vidnami and InVideo, both super powerful tools, and they're all a little bit unique in their own ways. In video, in fact, has a really powerful Final Cut editor where you can do a lot of work with audio or sampling. It's very, very, very neat. What I like about Lumen 5 is it's kind of focused. They've got some really nice options. The UI is really nice and it's super user friendly. It's like a drag and drop platform. So if you're just going to get started, I think it's a great place to start. If you're already doing video or whatever and you want to get more advanced, there's tons of different software out there. Again, I'm not attached to any of these really specifically. When I started Lumen 5, and I'm still a fan for being able to put together decent videos. So I'm going to show you just a little example, kind of what Lumen 5 looks like, just to kind of give you an idea what you might be looking at if you chose to go down this path. If you open Lumen 5, basically first thing you do is you just choose a template. This template is going to show you the layout, or is the layout, sorry, of what your video is going to look like, because they already build a full template for you, which is beautiful. So this is a small sample of what they have. I just took a screenshot here. You can see there's 2021 templates and then there's news templates. Those templates there are pre-built. Like what you're seeing there is an example of how your video is just going to look like right out the gate. You got to put the copy in there, which I'll show you in a second. You got to edit, change colors. You have all the options of stuff you can do, change font, etc. So it's super powerful. It's a little bit slow sometimes because it is a lot to load, I'm assuming, on the servers. But if you want to put together like a fairly professional looking little video in short time, it's a great place to start right there. Now, what I will say is you can see they all look very, very, very different. Like especially that top row, cool colors, different shaped images, copies put in different areas. Some it's overlaid with image, some it's to the side. And then on the news row, it looks a little more technical, maybe a little more cold. You definitely want to test. I've seen huge swings in performance based on the template alone. If you choose to use a template down this path, what I would say is this: if you're going to educate somebody about your product and with the intent to sell the product, I don't think you want to distract them with too much flashy stuff. And especially if you're in the health niche, like if you think about when you read online about any health news, it's more like news style, right? It's more like a professional article that you're going to read through. So I stick to more news related stuff regarding health. Now with e-commerce, I played a lot more with fun templates, especially if it's kind of a younger demo, you got some kind of gadget and you want it to be flashy and you want images coming across the screen and get all fancy, then yeah, then that's cool. Make it more like a commercial, right? So that's just something to think about again, like with what I said earlier before you get started, think about what your demo is. Also on the news side, if you see like that text or the font, sorry, is super easy to read, I think on all four. Like the left two in particular, what to expect from Apple's new iPhone, like that's just super sharp and I like it. So if someone's a little older maybe and they want it to be clear and easy to read, that's clear and easy to read. And I got copy I want to use, I want them to read it. So I don't want it to be, distracting and too fancy. So, I mean, you can take copy and split test them all. Just, I would share just my opinions there and my experience. Here's a quick little example. So I took that script that we just did a few ago. I actually changed the intro. I had simple 30 instead of simple 5. By the way, I'm not running the script. I've never run the script. I just threw it together as an example. I don't suggest really ripping the script, but if you want to use it as a guidance, like whatever. I didn't even finish it. I just put in 4 lines here, right? Just to give you an example. But in Lumen, this is how simple it is. You take your copy, paste it on the left, or put your link in here for where your copy is. It'll auto-generate a slide or two. And then if you just click on media on the left, it'll bring up a bunch of clips. And they've got tens of thousands of video clips you can search by niche and all kinds of stuff, whatever, and drag and drop. You just take the clip, drag it, drop on the top, boom, you've got a clip. And then you move on to the next clip, and then the next clip until you've got a video. It's literally like that simple. You'll see here the first clip, simple 30-second ritual helps reverse diabetes naturally. I turn diabetes red, catch people's attention. That copy should be made larger. That's too small in my opinion, but I just, again, an example. The clip itself is someone checking blood pressure, or not blood pressure, blood sugar. Super congruent, right? If you're scrolling your news feed and you see that test meter and you are diabetic, you know, mentally, boom, diabetes, and you read that headline, hopefully this is going to get your attention. Now that clip, I don't think I'd run that clip on Facebook actually, because it's showing blood in the finger. I don't know, that's probably a bit much. But just to give you an idea, I'm verifying this person, if they do watch, that they would care. And even if they don't realize consciously, subconsciously, you're starting to build almost some trust, because in their brain, like they're reading Simple 30-Second Ritual, and in their head, they can see that clip and it's congruent. And so there's a trust factor starting there, right? Which you want to continue with. So like on the second clip, thousands of people have jumped on this and are easily balancing blood sugar without having to test their fingers each goes on. So that clip, if it was animated, you see all those people crossing the intersection. It's thousands of people, thousands of people as an example, right? So that's not a very good clip. I mean, it looks kind of like stock footage, stuff, whatever. But again, I'm just trying to show you an example. So this is really important as you go. Make sure the clip makes sense. If you just put the copy in there, Lumen in particular, they have artificial intelligence. They will auto select clips for you and you can roll with that, but they're not going to be as good as they could be because the computer stuff is just not there. So give it some thought and put the effort in, because it's totally worth it to put the effort in and thought to those. All right. So I covered that kind of here. Clip should be congruent with being said. Help anchor the message and keep the user interested in watching. If you have copy and the clip is like too far outreach, like it just doesn't make sense, if they don't catch it again in the conscious level, subconsciously the brain will pick that up and it'll start to erode trust, and then some people will click, and some people don't even know why. They click away, sorry, not click into the ad. The person might not even recognize why, but there's just a break, right? It's just not fluid. Their brain is just like, whoa, 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 something's shifted, doesn't make sense, and they're out. So take the time, take your time, right? And if the target demo is older and or younger, or male or female, make sure the clips make sense. You're using older people or younger people or whatever, right? And then once you've got your clips selected on the left side, selected, there's a music button there, and you can publish it with music, and you can do that kind of stuff too. Also, if you have footage already, you can upload your own video content, whatever you have already to work with, whatever. So super powerful, and you can just play with all of that. Ad setup now. I don't want to get too much into ad setup. There's a lot of theory and a lot of opinions, and like a lot of people talking about this is why you should use CBO, not use CBO, ad sets, number of ads, time of day you launch, duplicating, blah, blah, blah. That's like another talk. Just more like on basic ad setup with a video. So when you launch a video, it's just the same as launching another ad. You're just going to upload a video to it, right? Really, it's the only real difference. So things to think about. Well, make sure you test thumbnails. You can upload your video and not add a thumbnail, and Facebook will automatically pick random clips from your video and use that as your thumbnail. But often I find they pick weird clips and the copy is cut in half and it doesn't make sense. So if you're already using image, throw some of your images in there and split test. Take your video, test 5 different images, thumbnails, whatever, like pretty the standard testing stuff. Definitely do that. For copy on the ad, if you already have copy that's working, awesome, use it. And then you can also use it as the first hook, pattern interrupt, because people are already on it, then don't make it complicated, just roll with it. So what I would add to that, though, here is an example. This is like the beginning of the video. 5-second ritual helps reverse diabetes naturally. I think in the video actually it's 30. So anyway, things that I would like to point out about this. So again, I work in the health space. I don't know what space you work in, but I think it all applies. With health, again, I want to make sure that I'm verifying the right person. So I talk about diabetes right in it, so it's not vague. I don't even talk about blood sugar or getting into like a little more removed, descriptive words. I keep it really blunt, right? If you got diabetes, this might interest you, right? And then I put helps reverse, again, not actually reverses. You want to be careful on your claims. And then I call it 5-second ritual. Again, that's just kind of a thing I just threw together. I don't know, right? Worth testing, not testing, I don't know. So anyway, it seems simple. It seems quick. It seems to help. It's reversing diabetes. And I even threw the word naturally in there. Naturally is a little dangerous with Facebook. I don't know if I would use it for sure or not. They get kind of fickle about using that kind of stuff. So something to consider. But the whole point of this copy on the ad is just to get them to play the video, right? There's enough interest, enough curiosity that hopefully they're going to click that video. And then in the video, when it plays and it starts talking about diabetes immediately, you're already building that trust. You're already getting on that funnel. They're starting to take action towards you. Perfect, right? In the past, I would do much more clickbait related copy because I was always just hunting for the best CTR, which came from my native days. I don't think it really applies as much here anymore. Like Facebook doesn't like clickbait. They don't like a poor user experience. If you're tricking people, people can complain and it hurts your ad score. Again, this can lead to problems in your account. My personal opinion, with my experience in running the campaigns that I run, I just kind of hit them between the eyes and keep it a bit more blunt. Like, here's something that might help you if you have X. And really keep it that simple, right? And then your video and then your funnel should do all the lifting of selling that person. So less trickery. I think it's worth giving it a shot if you're not already trying that. And like description, whatever, you can do lots of things in the description. I personally, if I click through to the cart, add the cart, if there is testimonials there, I like to test using those testimonials because then you're already using social proof right on the ad. So people see like, oh, something about diabetes, they read social proof, oh, interesting, and then they hopefully click your video. Again, you can set ads up however you want. I'm not getting too deep into it. This is pretty surface level, but I just like to point out, I believe in less trickery. Like, just don't need to do the trickery. Kind of keep it unique, interesting. You still want to hook them with intrigue. Like, you still want to get them interested, but again, keep it simple. And then targeting. Again, I don't want to get deep into targeting. Personally, I like to just go broad as I possibly can. If this product is going to affect people 50 years and older, then I'm going to do 50 plus or 60 plus. Boom, wide, right? Like, I know you can get the lookalikes and you can get all the retargeting and pixels, and we have iOS with this tracking and like there's all those opinions. As far as targeting goes, I want it to work as broad as possible, right? Like, I don't want to limit the pool size. I realize maybe that's harder to prove ads that way, but it's just the way I like to go, because if it works, it really works and it can really scale and run for a long time. And that's what we're here for, is to make a lot of money, right? So why would you play small here? It's just personal opinion. So I go wide. Also, this is another reason why I believe my previous comment about being really direct and to the point and on the ad copy and the video, because if I'm going so broad, if I'm targeting like 80 million people, I want that ad to speak to only the right people I want in the 80 million. So I kind of believe in letting the copy do the targeting, so to speak, right? People will see that, click through, and then hopefully Facebook learns. So we hope it does, black box of whatever it does, and improve. So that's my belief. Instead of working with the targeting so much, I let the copy do the work. And running copy like this, not that specific, I haven't actually tested that specific copy, but running copy like that, I often see CTRs in the 4 to 6% range. And I think that's really high on Facebook. And I'm totally happy with that. It leads to usually pretty cheap click costs. You get CPCs in the $50 to dollar range. I'm pretty happy with that stuff. So yeah, so that's what I do. It's hard to take it, whatever. This is more about video, but I thought I'd just touch on it because part of launching your ad, right? So landing page, I'm not going to get too much on landing pages here either. First off, though, I would say use a lander. I always run a landing page, always, always, always. I've split tested 1,000 times, direct, no, it's not. I know sometimes if you have a VSL, it can work out well without a lander, but I just believe in putting an extra step in there, extra effort to really sell that person. Sell that person. So the lander gives you an opportunity to continue interest, to confirm you have the right person again, make sure they actually care about IBs, they didn't get confused in your video. And it allows you to track a bit more, stats to make sure when people hit the offer, they're meaning to hit that offer. And then, of course, I don't know if you use pixels or if you do retarget, it gives you an opportunity to do that stuff. So definitely use a lander. When I was reading more e-commerce related stuff, I would do more long form landing pages because they usually didn't have a video like a VSL. So in the video, I do a lot of selling in the video, and then the long form landing page to like really break down, the technology or whatever, and that would work really well. If you're using a VSL, like, running with MaxWeb, they have beautiful VSLs that are super powerful. I just use like a 1 to 2 page, kind of like a bridge page, right? Headline, image, description, call to action, just to keep them interested and maybe provide a little bit more information, and then let the VSL really do all the heavy lifting. So if you do some research out there and AdSpire, whatever tools you use, you'll see thousands of examples of landers, and you can get to that path. So I'll leave that to you to kind of play with, but I kind of keep those a little bit more on the simple side and focus a bit more on the video Facebook. And then video diagnosis. So at this point, you wrote some script, you threw it in Lumen, you built a little video, you threw it on Facebook with some ads, you've got your lander that's pretty clean, and you're running some traffic, doing testing however you choose to test. Once you have 1,000 views on your video ad, Facebook will open up graphs for you. And I know a lot of people I talk to don't look at these graphs, and you should totally look at these graphs because they will take all the guesswork out of what you're doing, and you'll basically tell you exactly what to do to fix and or improve your video. And I'm going to show you exactly what I mean here. I got an example. It's not this blood sugar offer. It's a different offer I ran recently. I've got 3 different videos that I ran and there's some results. So I'll just go over the results. I'll show you what I'm talking about. But Facebook literally tells you where your video is good, where your video is poor. And you don't need to get all emotional and freak out and be like, what do I do? I'm lost. I got to throw the thing in the garbage, write a new one, which you might need to do, but worth just looking over this. So this was a vision product that I was running, and these are some initial results I got from a few of the videos. So this first video here, I have it labeled as poor performer. So excuse me, here's a video that got poor results. So it's a shorter video. Right at the gate, you can see at the top, it's 35 seconds, which is not that long. Basically, it was just a hook, 3 testimonials, so social proof, social proof, social proof, and a call to action. I wanted to see if something really short and punchy would play out. It just didn't play out. So payout was $105. So right out the gate, cost per result was 113. Had almost 8,000 views already. So it lost money, but not a big deal. We got some data. I got to get an idea of what was going on here. The first clip here, which it's all blurred out, but is not really working. You see this drop off here, it's okay, and then immediately goes steep down the arrow at the first 2 seconds, if you look there. And by 5 seconds, if you look at that graph, we're at about 50% people remaining at 5 seconds. First 3 to 5 seconds are critical. Clearly, we've lost about half the people already. So that's not a good sign. They read, the headline. They were obviously kind of interested. They watched a little bit, and we've already lost half. So it's not a good start. The second clip kind of region, just around the 6-second mark there, it kind of goes a bit more horizontal. So if you're seeing the graph go more horizontal, that means more people are sticking around. Like you have less drop off rate. That's obviously a positive sign. You're going to have continual drop off because as the video goes on, more and more people will drop off. So the goal, in my opinion, is to have as little drop off as possible. You can kind of relate it to like a landing page CTR, right? If a lot of people click through your landing page, you get a high CTR rate, which makes sense. We want a high watch through rate. This translates, of course, to average watch time, which if you look at the top right there, you have average play time 14 seconds at a 35, right? 14 is not horrendous, but I like to be over 20 seconds personally, at least. They're over 30 seconds is like great. It's good length of holding people's attention. So you can see basically the graph kind of like dwindles off. And at the very end, right at the 30-second mark, it takes another steep dive down. Well, that clip is a call to action. There's no animation in the back. It's just a dark green with a click here to learn more, change your life kind of thing. That is not working either. So we're having the hook is poor. We have some medium results in the middle, kind of, and then a bad CTA. So what is this telling us? Well, for this particular video, which I haven't redone, I'm going to show you 2 other videos. But in this video, what would I do? Well, right out the gate, that hook needs to change. The pattern interrupt. So is it the clip? Is it the copy? You just choose one. Choose the hook, the copy probably, and I would just do like 3, 4, 5 new variations and relaunch it. So if you go into Lumen, you just duplicate the video, change that copy, hit publish, boom, you've got a whole new video, right? So a couple of copies, relaunch the test, and then compare the graph against your base, which is just standard A/B testing essentially, right? And see if this graph can improve better, improve better, improve, less drop off, and hopefully your average play time improves. And then if it doesn't, you could try the clip as well, or just go back and forth, right? Try a bit of copy, try a bit of clips, and just try to find that perfect combination that has improvement. And the same with the call to action. I would fix the beginning first, personally, because you're already losing like the bulk of people there, so you want to improve that. And then at the end, that 30-second mark, that call to action is terrible. So same idea, just 4 or 5 variations maybe, right? You could do more. You could do 20 variations if you want to, if you got the kind of budget to support that kind of testing. And that's basically all you do, step by step, and improve that graph. So here I'm going to show you a second result here. I'm calling it a medium performer. Same offer. It's a longer video. This is a minute 35. A lot closer to the script example that I shared with you, or structure, not example, but structure. So here I'm trying a longer video, doing a bit more selling, trying to bring a bit more information to the user, more clips, etc. So again, there's a really steep drop at the first clip here again. So by 5 seconds, we've lost 50% of people. Now, one thing I tested here was a theme. The intro, the first clip is like an overlay of red color, a circle zooms out, and then I got this woman with really crazy shiny glasses, and it's like really shocking and got colors and animation. Like, I really wanted to do a pattern interrupt. Well, the drop off is pretty high. So what I said earlier about kind of sticking to news, not being too distracting, this is targeting a bit of an older demo. I think I proved my theories, that I already shared in this video here. So pretty bad drop off there, because right at about the 1 second mark, you can see that little graph at 1 second just goes whoop. Right around maybe 6 seconds, you can see it kind of levels out a little bit. That is the second clip. Something was good in the second clip. So I'm showing someone who's wearing really thick glasses, talking about vision stuff. That's really relatable. So right out the gate, the simple test here would be to take that second clip and maybe just move the clip up to the front and see if the graph improves. Keep copy the same, just move the second clip in, change the second clip out, and just see, like, the graph is showing people like the second clip. So we would still probably get a lot of drop off at the intro. You typically do get some drop off in the intro, but it's literally the graph is telling you where it's good. And if you look right around 14-second mark there, before 15, the graph goes flat, right? People get stopped there. Like, something really changes there. It's an image of a doctor, an optometrist, when she's shining a light in like your face kind of thing. People like that doctor. As soon as the flashlight comes out, you can see in the blurred image there how it's kind of like bright lights. You see how the graph dips down there again? Well, they're liking something. They're liking either the copy, they're liking the doctor, right? Having some authority in there maybe. But then as soon as the light starts flashing in your face, it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Something they don't like there. It could be the copy, it could be the clip. I'm going to assume it's the clip just because the clip is kind of shocking there. And then right at the 20-second mark, it levels out a bit more again. And then, it kind of fades and then goes off to like a gradual transition off towards the end of the video, which is kind of common. You see like a general fade. Some people click away. Some people maybe click learn more early and just get into your ad, like into your lander and into your funnel. This is still the same payout, $105 payout. So my CPA there on 5 conversions was $89. So it's profitable. Video actually is making money, but it's not enough to scale. That's for sure. Like 89 from 105, kind of thin margin. I could have let this ride, but I decided to just axe it because like we can do much better than this. So I got a third video I did that did a bit better. 54 seconds, so slightly shorter. But it has a similar script structure to what I shared with you in this call. Actually, very, very similar script structure again. Right out the gate, if you look at that graph, much less drop off, right? We don't see a 50% drop off, so half, until about 14 seconds, 15 seconds, right? At the 15-second mark, we've lost half, where before we'd lost half before like 5 seconds. So the average video play time on the top right there, you see, is 23 seconds. People are watching more of this video, and the whole intro just seems to be a lot better. I'm using the very first clip. It's like a father with a son. The second clip is an older gentleman outside, all very like raw looking footage. It doesn't look stock at all. The third clip, I think all the clips look pretty stock, or not stock, sorry, pretty raw. And you can see the result. We get a lot more people holding on. And from the 15-second mark to like 25 seconds or so, it's a very gradual drop. We're still holding almost half the people. So there's something in the copy there. People are like, oh yeah, okay, this is cool. I like it, right? And then you can clearly see it at 30 seconds. At 30 seconds, we get, boom, another drop, right? So what's happening at 30 seconds? Well, that clip is a picture or a clip of a doctor, stock footage, super stock footage. It looks right out of like, some kind of library. Like it's obviously not raw. It's like obviously an actor is looking at the camera, he's shrugging his shoulders and is talking about something all the medical industry doesn't know, right? People hate it. Like look at that drop off. It goes from 40% down to about 22, 25% in 10 seconds, right? And then holds on again and then kind of dips at the last 50 seconds there again, the CTA. So really easy to see that clip at 30 seconds needs to be swapped. Okay, swap out that clip, again, 3 or 4 variations and compare and see if you get a lift, and then try the copy there as well, see if you get a lift. Like it's an easy edit to see. Like Facebook is literally telling you, this graph is telling you where the users, like it's got 11,200 views. Like it's not in the hundreds of thousands, but that's plenty of views to have like some statistical data here to know. So that's fantastic. So you can literally just look at the graph and just swap out clips that, are a bit chunky. Now, could you take it further? Sure. I mean, the CTA at the end there obviously is a little dip. We could play the CTA. They seem to really like, again, from the 15 to 25 seconds. So look at those clips. Worth pulling those clips out and seeing what they are, and maybe use a few more clips like it near the beginning to see if you can really improve that watch time, make it even better. And then you can just keep iterating, getting more data, iterating, right? Like you don't need to, again, get emotional about it. It's very methodical, very calm. It's this telling you what to do. In my opinion, it's telling you what to do. Now, this is the same payout, same offer, so it's $105 payout. So this had 12 conversions at $57.45, right? So that's great ROI. $105 payout from 57 on 12 sales. That seems great. That's worth scaling, right? So now you can increase budgets if you want to duplicate whatever. So obviously, what I would do here is scale this particular video because it's working. This is making money, like great. But I would still make improvements because these improvements are obvious to me. Like, what if on a $105 payout you could get a CPA in the mid to low 30s? You totally can, right? And once you start getting ROI like 300%, then like you can scale, and that's easily how you can spend thousands, if not tens of thousands, and take offers to the moon. So that's my approach. So this was a bit of a wider test. I did 3 different scripts. I made 3 different videos, all different length, out the gate, compared 3 whole new things. Like I came in kind of wide out the gate. And then I got this early data, and now I got a strong signal of where to focus. So the other 2 videos, I'm just going to axe them and focus on this one video and just massage, test new hooks, clean up that clip at 30 seconds, and then just ride this out as long, scale as high as I can and ride it as high as I can, right? That's it. Keep the lander the same for now and just keep rocking. So that's how I diagnose that. Keep going. I pulled this clip up here. This is just some of the stats on Facebook, things to watch out for. Like you have obvious stats that we're all familiar with: CTR, CPC, CPMs, etc. Excuse me. This was pulled from that last video. So things I like to look for. I always look at the CPM, your cost per thousand. I find that gives you a good indicator of kind of like what Facebook thinks of your material, especially with video. Often I'll launch a few different videos, and some will be like in the $50 range, and then some can be as low as 30, mid 20s on the same offer. So usually I'm indicating that personally that Facebook is liking one of those videos better, and I'm getting cheaper traffic for it. I don't know if that's 100% accurate. It's my belief. It's how I treat my material, and I just try to make the videos as quote likable as possible by Facebook, because I want that cheaper traffic from them. So I can scale, of course, right? You can see the CPC example there was $5. CTR is 5.5, super high CTR, which is great. So if I bring that CPM down, we'll start smashing some really cheap clicks. And then the video playtime, average video playtime to me is really, really important. So I treat video playtime like landing page CTR, right? The higher the average playtime, the longer people are staying, the more engaged they are, the less drop off you have, the more you've like done your job at this stage of the game. It's just my belief. So I always shoot to try to get that higher and higher and higher and higher. So like, what's a standard? I don't know. Like it depends, on how long your videos are. If you're doing 20-second videos, you're gonna have shorter watch time. It's just how it works. But Anything under 10 seconds to me on like a minute is like no good. You want to be definitely over 10 seconds. I shoot to be at least over 20 seconds. And if I can get over 30-second watch time, I'm really excited because that means people are engaged. If they're scrolling Facebook and they're going to stop for 30 seconds and watch something that I created, I think it's a huge, huge win. And then if you see your landing page CTR beyond that, you know, for me, I like to see 40 to 60% at least there. And then that means you're just getting a lot of people down the road, right? In the bottom row, you see things like cost per 3 second, through play, and then all your percentages of how many people watch your video. So Facebook thinks the first 3 seconds is the most important part of your video. So they're telling you what your cost per 3 second view is, meaning, you know, more people that watch 3 seconds, the less you're paying there. And the same for through play. They call through play 15 seconds because I think that's the length on Reels, I think. So the longer your watch time and the more people watching that first portion, the lower that number. Like you're gonna pay a lot less for those views. It's like CTR, but on a video. So I look at those stats because if my cost per through play is like 30 cents, 40 cents, and I'm just paying so much money to get people through such a short part of that video, it's probably pretty clear it's just not working out. So even if the campaign is profitable, like it's like a 10% ROI, and like, all right, we're making something. These are stats I look to. Okay, what can I improve? Well, let's improve the cost per through play. Let's lower it, right? Let's try to get it to 10 cents or less. That's something I look at, right? This is 13 here. I mean, it's not terrible. It's fine. So yeah, to summarize, I think CPM is kind of an indicator of how much Facebook is kind of liking the video. So if you're getting really high CPMs, like 80, 90, 100, no good. Clean up the copy, make it less, you know, attacking, isolating or something. You'll see the difference. And then of course your ad CTR, you want that to be decent. This is all just some really simple, basic copy that we talked about a few slides ago, getting great CTR. And then average video time and those through play costs are just healthy things to look at because they're just telling you the health of your video and then improve it if you can. Boom. This is everything I was talking about. I'll look at the average play time, try to go over 20 seconds. Over 30 is awesome. You know, cost per through play, again, 10 to 15 cents. Try to get under 10 cents if I can. CTR, I've already tested. I mean, if your CTR is low, this is pretty standard stuff, right? Test, copy, test thumbs, test, copy, test thumbs. I mean, that's old school from image, so nothing changes there. I said not shown here, but of course you can landing page CTR. Again, I shoot for like a 40 to 60% CTR because they should be pretty qualified when they come from the video, following the strategy and approach that I believe in. Your headline was super obvious. Your hook is pretty obvious. Your video is really obvious, talking about whatever it's talking about. As long as your landing page isn't too shocking and jarring, like as long as your headline and material is following the flow from your video, you should be getting a really high CTR there, right? And then finally, which I covered earlier, always make sure to check the comments on your ad. People will make comments, usually probably what they don't like about your ad, which is perfect. Take note of all those, like look at those comments. Sometimes I put them into an Excel doc and see if there's a trend and actuate that trend. Just like, again, they hate the intro, they hate an actor, they think it's too fast, too slow, too bright, too confusing. That's great news. Just take that information, go back in, rebuild your video following those old notes, relaunch, and compare the comments again. And it's like surprising how much it helps all the stats we just talked about, all your costs and everything. So that's great. And then summary for videos. So everything we've covered. Just a few points again. Focus seriously hard on your hook, first clip. This is what kind of makes or breaks the video, which I showed you some examples. Always be testing variations. So even when you're profitable, just test those, just test the hooks, just like headlines. It's treated the same, right? Make sure your clips and copy align and make sense. Always read your copy out loud before you make your video. You know, take your script and read it to yourself out loud. Does it make sense? Is it confusing and chunky, right? Make sure all your video is fully relevant, age of people in the clips we talked about. You know, let the data tell you what your next steps are with the comments. You know, don't get stressed out, stay methodical. I say this all the time. Like sometimes you're launching stuff and it's not performing and you're just like, I don't know what to do. This is telling you exactly what to do. Like look at the watch graph, look at the watch time, look at your CTR. And if it's not stacking up, you just haven't built a good enough Video, yeah, you just got to keep working at it, right? Once you get going, test many variations as you can once you get going. Yeah, like it's always improvement. We all know this, right? If you're having a short video working, try a long video. If you're a long video, try a short video. Try upbeat, try slower. You know what I mean? Just have at it. And of course, finally, have tons of fun. Don't get discouraged. Again, this video is pretty straightforward. This may sound like a lot, but I've just made it a lot of talking about it really straightforward. Take your basic scripts, write unique stuff, see what's working out there on your spy tools and iterate, and just create some fun, fresh videos. And once you find a tool you like, um, just get creating those videos and have a lot of fun with it and just get launching. And yeah, that's really all I have to add about that. I hope it provided some value for you. If you've never done video before, feel free to reach out if you want to chat about this kind of stuff. Love talking campaigns. And yeah, and all these images and my slides that are all kind of weird. These are all thumbnails that I've ran in campaigns. So I thought I'd just throw them in there for good measure to keep it kind of interesting. Anyway, thanks, MaxWeb, for having me out, and I hope it helps some people out.